What's going on, guys? Scotty Sparks here, coach of your London Luxray, and it's finally happening. Week 1, Season 5, and not gonna lie, I'm excited. It's gonna be a great season. I'm liking my team. I'm liking the team prep aspect of this squad. Uh, the only thing is I'm noticing my team's like a Season 3 team, a little offensive. So, that being said, my playstyle is going to have to change up a bit if I'm wanting to get some wins, um, and hopefully make playoffs. Obviously, that's the goal: playoffs first. Bring it all in the season, and then save tricks once you've pretty much guaranteed your playoff spot. Um, so let me just start out with talking about this guy's team. I'm facing Mike, week 1, coach of Phil's Tits, season 3, this is a very similar season 3 team. Uh, Playstyle, I believe. Um, we faced off in the finals. He unfortunately had a Lando T, a Zygarde, and a Mega Mawile, all three of which just completely wrecked my team then. This year, why the fuck does my thing just keep popping up with random shit? I need to clean my laptop. And it's all about Maryland Dennis too. I don't know what the fuck. But at least this year he doesn't have that. Oh, see, like, look at this. It just keeps popping up. But he doesn't have as OP stuff as he did. Lando T, obviously one of the best um, best mons in this format. Versatility Wiles. Whatever that was. Wise, not Wa. And he also had Mega Mawile, which is just a huge threat in its own right. But he doesn't have it this year. Ranked in his speed order, just because that helps me speed creep and deal with EVs. He's got Raikou. Looking at my team, though, Raikou obviously needs to run 2 attacks. He can't afford to run just an electric move with me having a Jolteon and having a Excadrill. And because I have an Excadrill, he might run HP fighting, but I'm pretty sure he might. I have to look if CV a shiny Raikou or not, because if it's shiny, it might lead to him being Aura Sphere / Rash Nature. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a Raikou. It can take hits from Mega Pidgeot. If you look at his team here, now that he had added Raikou, he has a resistance to flying. Other than that, Mega Pidgeot has a field day. So this is kind of a if I'm going off my gut, Raikou is kind of a given. Probably T-Bolt / Switch, Volt Switch. He also probably wants Aura Sphere or HP Fighting. Aura / Fight. And with his other 2 moves, I'm not really sure what he's going to run. That gives him the option to run Calm Mind. It gives him the option to run stuff like Toxic, stuff like E-Speed if he really wants to. He does have a good E-Speeder in Zygarde. I doubt that's going to be the case. So you might run some coverage, but pretty much Aura Sphere takes on Kyurem too. He might want to run some coverage for Lurantis, which is why Aura Sphere makes more sense. Then he can run HP Ice or HP Fire or something. HP Ice, whatever, one of those. And then like 3 moves, Calm Mind, that makes sense. Or else Lurantis kind of stops him, or else Excadrill flat out stops him with Aura Sphere. I do expect Raikou to be coming. His next Pokemon, Galvantula. I do expect either Galvantula or Raikou. I'll say that, but if I don't see Raikou, then Galvantula in my mind is probably it's either going to be Scarfed or Sash. And it might have webs. He might bring it, he might bring it for webs, but if he does, and that could really slow down my Excadrill. But I mean, I still have Pidgeot, which isn't affected. Miss Magius isn't affected. And he does have a slow team, so I can definitely see him bringing webs, especially if he sticks to like a game plan for week 1. But if not, then I'm pretty sure I can just get rid of webs, and it's gonna slow me down to the point where 558, 548, half that, or no, third of that, 2/3 of that. Anyways, I'll still be fast. I can still outspeed most of his team, I believe, barring Scarfs. Here, with the speed, I outspeed Scarf Mons, but with the webs, I don't outspeed Scarf Mons, I believe. Infernape, he made 3 drops. First drop was originally he dropped 3 Mons and picked up Raikou, Infernape, Swampert, and then he dropped Swampert, Shroomish for Blastoise. So Blastoise, Raikou, Infernape, 3 new Mons. I don't know if Blastoise comes, but I feel like Infernape, Raikou comes, just because Infernape has a decent matchup against my team. I'll go to mine of here, if I can get to it. And if you're watching this and you want me to link this to you, I can. It was a lot of work, so I'm not just gonna give it to anyone. But if you want it, like I will definitely give it to you. You just have to update it yourself. So right now, like, that's just a look at type coverages. If we fight fire and fighting, fire there, I only have one, or I've only have one fire weakness, which is surprising. And fighting up here, I have 2. Excadrill should be a fighting weakness. I don't know why that's not there. Oh, I didn't have any weaknesses to Excadrill. I'll have to fix that, because fighting's a weakness, ground's a weakness. I think fire's a weakness and water. I don't think grass is. I think I resist grass. Ice isn't. Okay, I'll fix that. But we're not really focused on that right now. But yeah, Infernape probably with an electric move, most likely Scarfed, make the most sense. It can check my Pidgeot. It can check my Jolteon. The only thing is with Scarf, he can't lock himself into a fighting move with Mismagius, but or he can't lock himself with a fire move, I guess, with Gigalith. But I don't really have a switch into Infernape. I guess this is gonna be like my only real switch in, but it's not really bulky. I'm just gonna hope it's like Choice Scarf and see what it does. Zygarde, it's a threat. So I'll add Infernape to the list that I expect to see. Hopefully a Scarf set. I mean, hopefully not, but hopefully like a Life Orb set. But I just think Mach Punch is too good just because it checks Excadrill, checks this team well, hits Pidgeot for a lot, and fight it like it can take on a lot of my team. Zygarde, I'm fully expecting to bring. He didn't bring it last season, week 1, and he lost, and when Zygarde would have won him the game. So I'm pretty sure ever since then he's been kind of like hesitant to leave Zygarde on the bench. That being said, it does check a lot of my team, and plus with his Mega Heracross, grass types that get lured in by Zygarde have an easy check. I'm gonna speed this up a little more. Nidoking, I'm pretty sure Nidoking or Zygarde have to come just because there is only electric immunities. Raikou can resist, but I think 1v1 Jolteon can beat, because Raikou's going to be relying on non-stab moves, and Jolteon has the speed advantage. So I'm pretty sure Zygarde or Nidoking will come. It just makes sense to me, and Zygarde makes more sense to me. He could bring both, but if he brings both, that's kind of better for me. Blastoise, I see Blastoise at the bottom of the line. Blastoise and Volcanion kind of do similar things. They're bulky water types. Volcanion gives him the fire support, so if he doesn't want to bring Infernape, then a Scarf Volcanion maybe might be his option. I'll see if it outspeeds a Scarf with my 363 speed. Let's see what a Scarf Volcanion hits. Triscarf, what is that? Timid 262. So add 130 to that, so he'll be 393. And what am I at? 363. I can't really outspeed that. So a Scarf Volcanion could wait. He'll be 393. I'm pretty sure Jolteon outspeeds that. So I don't like Scarf Volcanion won't really make sense since Jolteon outspeeds it anyways, unless he's bringing webs. If he brings webs, then Scarf Volcanion will make more sense. And Heracross, like, I can almost guarantee you with a team like his, especially with only 10 Mons and a lot of them sharing types, you're going to face Nidoking, Zygarde, Heracross a lot. Especially Zygarde, Heracross, because Zygarde's going to invite in those grass types. Heracross is going to switch in and pretty much just get a free sub. So the team comp around this was be aware of those. Make sure that Heracross can't get a free sub. Make sure that Zygarde, because Heracross can't really speed boost. So it's always going to be that 75 speed. Zygarde can boost up, so I need to make sure I had a check to that can boost up alongside it. And all in all, keep those two in check, because if I can keep those two in check, I think I can win this match. Blastoise there. Like I said, Blastoise Volcanion, don't really see coming. Just because Crawdaunt, his third water type, just so much more threatening to my team. Banded Knockoff pretty much wrecks my entire team. Even Slurpuff resists, even Emboar who resists, because Emboar is not going to want to join in on that water shenanigans. Lurantis is my only real switch in, but even then it takes a lot from a knockoff. And Zygarde, it's needed to check Zygarde, because I don't really have anything else on my team that's checked Zygarde, other than Mew making defensive, and I didn't really want to make Mew defensive. Week 1, I kind of went into this drafting Mew knowing that a lot of people draft it and then just make it defensive, and that was kind of like what I wanted to stay away from. So I will run it defensively and Spidef, whatever, but I'm not going to pigeonhole it to a defensive role if I can help it. And in this match, I think like offensive Mew puts in some work too. Now that he kind of switches team up a little, it puts in less work, but I still feel like, because before he didn't have Raikou and he didn't have Infernape, so it was just get rid of Webb's Galvantula, get rid of the Webs, and Mew pretty much just slaughtered his entire team. I kind of ran the same Mew, kind of changed it a bit. I'll explain it when I get there. And finally, Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's going to be a bit of an issue because my main win con is going to be Excadrill this game. And Excadrill flat out can't really 2-hit kill Ferrothorn. It only 3-hit kills. My Earthquake does like 35 to 40. I'll just double check to make sure. But where's damage calc? Damage calc, is that it? Pokemon calculator. Obviously got to pin that Ferrothorn, let you risk defensively, and Excadrill. Highly recommend this website for anyone in this league. Okay, so a Spidef one I 2-hit kill. Looking at his team though, defensively I see Ferrothorn and Blastoise as his only real checks. That being said, I'm pretty sure one of those two have to come. Ferrothorn can set up hazards, which makes it the more realistic bring. Blastoise overall kind of gets if he does bring Blastoise, it might be to bait in Jolteon so he can switch in Zygarde and Nidoking. But if you look there, I'm doing 40 min, so I'm gonna have to make sure that Ferrothorn's at 74% before, or 74ish, just to guarantee that after leftovers, well, it'd be grass doesn't resist rock, right? Ferrothorn takes 6% from rocks, so I'm pretty sure I can let it hit 80%. So as long as I do some chip damage to Ferrothorn, I should be fine to sweep with Excadrill. And actually, he's not. Gyro Ball is doing 20%. Although if Sands up, that's the issue. Sands up, that's gonna do a lot more. It's gonna do 40%. Whereas Power Whip is going to do like 60%. So that might be an issue with Life Orb damaging me. But overall, I feel like these 10 mons, I feel like I built the best team to face these 10 mons. I'm kind of proud of this team. It was my first time team building. It was a lot of fun. Got to throw in my my three top mons, all offensively, with 3 walls-ish to kind of check it. So let me start off. Excadrill, looking at his team, look at this. Go to ground. He has Heracross that resists, and he has Heracross that resists. Yeah, so Earthquake, Aerial Ace, since Heracross is his only resist, Aerial Ace does 94 min to a max HP Heracross. And his 2 sets he's going to bring Heracross are either going to be max HP Adamant, or he'll bring it Jolly with speed. I don't see him, or he could bring Adamant with speed, but I don't really see him investing. He's investing 252 in attack. Like, that's what you do with Heracross. So, and even then, it does like 111 max. So like, there's the rolls in my favor. With rocks, it's even better because it's a guarantee OHKO, and Earthquake hits everything else. He has no flying mons, no levitating mons. I don't need another move. Sandstorm is there as a backup. It's if Gigalith somehow has to be sacked, and I lose access to Sandstorm. If I'm up against some things, realistically, I can't set up on anything. I can set Sandstorm up against the Raikou, the Galvantula, and the Ferrothorn, but it's more of a last ditch effort. Or if I know that if I get to a point where I need to get rid of rocks or something, and Bloodwing's just gonna sweep this game, I can Rapid Spin with my speed boost, and just get rid of them. He has no Ghost type, no Spin Blocker. The 248 speed is all I really need, because after this sand, it allows me to outspeed a Scarf Infernape, and without the sand, it allows me to outspeed a Jolly Heracross, I believe. I'll just double check, but that's pretty much the speed I wanted to hit, because if I didn't have the sand up, I wanted to make sure I didn't just lose to Heracross. So yeah, 273, I'm 274, so we're all good there. Life Orb, just so I can guarantee some kills, do some extra damage. If Excadrill gets hit, I'm losing. It's dying. Like I said, Crawdon and Infernape are the only two things I really worry about. Zygarde, I think, takes a hit. I'll check a sub. This is max HP, right? 188, 252. Max HP, I'm doing about 50%. So it's not bad. And obviously 1,000 Arrows is killing me, just because why isn't 1,000 Arrows killing me? An alternate would be to do something like run a Water Berry or a Fighting Berry, or a Ground Berry, just depending on which one I feared the most. But overall, I think the Life Orb damage will be the best, and I can kind of play around these mons. Mainly because when this thing has the sand, if he sends out Infernape, if he sends out Zygarde, if he sends out Crawdon, Infernape has to click Mach Punch. Zygarde / Nidoking. Although Nidoking being poisoned means I kill it. Zygarde has to click 1,000 Arrows. Crawdon has to click Aqua Jet. Like, if he clicks D-Dance with Zygarde, that's an error on his part, because unless he's just really ballsy. If he clicks Knockoff with Crawdon, again, ballsy, because I OHKO it, he pretty much is forced into Aqua Jet. And that's going to help with Gyarados, that's going to help with Mew, and that's going to help with Lurantis here. So, I guess I can explain my nicknames while I'm doing it. Dirtbag is like the mole guy off TMNT, the one Ninja Turtle game I used to play as a kid. Terra, it's kind of like a fortress, and in my hobby, the Imperial Fists kind of like built a huge fortress in Terra, Earth, whatever. That's kind of where I was going with it. This thing is very crucial to this game, just because I'm playing a more offensive team, and that being said, I'm going to need sacks. And this is the perfect sack, because I can send it in, get the sand up, pretty much let it die, and Excadrill is going to have like 7 turns, just go crazy with sand. And the thing is, I'm debating not putting Smooth Rock on, because if he brings Crawdon, if he brings Infernape, then I don't need 7 turns of sand. Because what's going to happen is the sand's going to come out, the sand will come out, blah blah blah, Excadrill comes out, I kill something, Crawdon comes out. So by keeping 7 turns of sand, it might screw me over. So I might change that into like leftovers or something. But if he doesn't bring Crawdon and Infernape in some alternate universe, the 7 turns of sand would be nice. I might change that just because, that being said, if this I use it as a sack, it'd be nice to know that I have a whole bunch of turns where I can do some work. So I think overall, the threat of not having sand is more important, so I'll keep it on. But Stealth Rock, pretty explanatory. He's got an Infernape, it wears down the Zygarde, wears down the Blastoise, forces the Blastoise into spin, if that's why he brings Blastoise, which means I can get a good switch in with like, Mew, with Pidgeot, stuff like that. He doesn't really have any other hazard removal. I think Blastoise is his only hazard removal, which might help me, because it means if he brings that, it's better for me. But he could carry Aqua Jet on that, just because I do have an Excadrill. Spidef, because this team was so focused on shutting down Crawdon, shutting down Infernape, and Zygarde and Heracross, that I left Galvantula and Raikou kind of in the dark. Spidef allows me to pretty much take max 30% from a Raikou. If he has Aura Sphere, it might go up to 35 range, but I'm living hits, and I'm throwing off Earthquakes, I'm throwing off my rocks, etc. Rocks also be good against Volcanion. if he decides to bring it, though Volcanian's on the bottom of the list compared to his team, in my mind. It also breaks a potential sash on Galvantula or Infernape if they don't just lead it right off the bat. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. So that's pretty much it. Stone Edge Earthquake is all I really needed. Stone Edge hits some things hard, like I guess I don't really need Stone Edge. I guess it breaks Zygarde's sub along with Heracross. Like that's the issue. That's the reason I put it on, I believe. But Earthquake pretty much I can spam against everything else. Explosion, if I want to send this in, I just want to get rid of it. I don't want him to try to set up. I don't want him to throw a sub. Just boom, something dies, no ghost type. We're all good. I'll go to my third Pokemon. Borderlands, Mordecai has a little bird called Bloodwing. Easy enough. And Pidgeot, oh man, this thing. So Season 2, I wanted this. Didn't happen. Someone got sniped it for me. Liam, cough cough. But now I'm getting the Mega Pidgeot Excadrill I wanted that season. And not gonna lie, looking at most teams, Pidgeot is a threat. A fast flying type that hits specially with a guaranteed 100% Hurricane / guaranteed 100% Heat Wave with a 135 special attack is threatening. Sorry. That being said, I need the speed because I need to be able to outspeed a Raikou. If he Scarfs Raikou, good on him. Then he hits another electric move and Excadrill gets a free switching. Thank you. Or I could even go like Mercs there and just set up with Contrary. But pretty much looking at, like I said, look at this guy's team. Until he picked up Raikou, no flying resist. So that being said, and I have answers to take on Raikou, so I don't need to worry about having any other coverage move. I get 16 shots, and that's more than enough. U-turn, because I outspeed his entire team, and I can check to see what's scarfed or not. I do live an Aqua Jet from Banded Crawdon, does like 60%. So this is going to be one of my main ways right now of putting Crawdon out. I might just even lead this, because like depending on what he has, like I could just flat out. Let's see what it does to a Scarf Infernape. Scarf versus my Pidgeot. I was more looking at like what he does to me. So I love a Flare Blitz. So I might just, if he brings Galvantula, like I might just flat out lead this Pokemon and just start like shit facing him. I'm not gonna lie. Because once I break a couple things, Excadrill is gonna sweep. I'm really debating leading Gyarados though, just because Gyarados gives me the Intimidate. So I'll just go into this. If I get an unfair Thorn, if I get in on like Heracross, he's obviously gonna want to switch. It gives me a sub. That means his priority, whatever, he tries to sack something, get a sub, kill it. Roost gives me some more longevity. U-turn, perfect. Gives me momentum. I only need the 208 speed to outspeed Raikou. Allows me to throw some into health. I'm all set. This could very easily be my lead, just to get the Mega off and get the extra bulk, I guess. But this is the guy I'm looking to lead. Saphira, the Dragon from Aragon. Flying MZ because it allows me to do some damage to Heracross. I outspeed an Adamant Heracross. Max speed Adamant. It makes sense if he runs Adamant. It also makes sense if he runs not Adamant. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure an Adamant outspeeds a Jolly Emboar. So he probably doesn't need to worry about that. Wall break. Let me go Emboar and so Choice Scarf. Jolly 251. Adamant's 249. Okay, so if he does run Jolly, he might run enough just to outspeed Emboar. Just because Gyarados, if it's max speed, he's gonna get outsped anyways. And Slurpuff has the Unburden boost, so he might not even worry about that. So I do see an Adamant Heracross coming. So this allows me to outspeed it. Ice Fang allows prevents Zygarde from really doing anything. 4 times effective, a lot of damage. Earthquake hits a lot of his team. He's very ground weak, which is nice. Ground and flying are his 2 biggest weaknesses, which he might patch up in the coming weeks, but so far he hasn't. So Earthquake allows me to spam a couple things, allows me to deal damage to the Ferrothorn, and then Flying Z allows me to pretty much one-shot something for big damage. The reason I have Toxic here is because this is my main Crawdon switch, and I switch it on a Crawdon, especially if he has to Aqua Jet because I have Excadrill in. I pretty much, especially if he's banded, I get a free Toxic. Theoretically he could lead Ferrothorn, or switch Ferrothorn in, but in my mind, Toxicking a Zygarde and Heracross or a Raikou, or even I doubt Infernape, but if I Toxic one of those 3, most likely the Raikou, that's just good. Honestly, that's just good. And if not, maybe he goes for the knockoff and I Toxic the Crawdon. Even better, like just getting damage off on something. That being said, if he's low enough, I might spam Earthquake. I would speed the Heracross anyway, so I can get the bounce off. And the bounce also allows me to deal damage to Ferrothorn, because again, it's one of the things preventing Excadrill from flat out sweeping. And if he ends up bringing Zygarde, Ferrothorn, and Blastoise, all 3 of them plus Infernape Crawdon, I'll be a little upset, because that means Excadrill is pretty much going to be a breaker, not a sweeper this game. Cause it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not going to have the longevity, like it's not going to be able to outlive all that. But hopefully he only brings like 3 or 4 of this 5 I mentioned. I might switch Toxic up, but right now Toxic is probably the best play. Just because I have switch-ins to Ferrothorn, like that's easy, and that's gonna be my Mugwai there. But I'll get into my next Pokemon. Pretty straightforward. My Zygarde switch-in. Hopefully I U-turn on the Zygarde. Switch in, but even if he, like, at most he's getting a sub or +1. Hopefully he goes for sub first, so I can superpower and I can boost alongside him. A Dragonium, a +1 Dragonium Z, does a fair bit, but I live it, so I can just slowly superpower my way. And at 2 superpowers, at a full health, I check Heracross, because Pin Missile does under 100, and HP Fire is there for that reason. If I throw a Leaf Storm off on the Heracross switch in, or the Ferrothorn switch in, then HP Fire is going to do a lot. At +2, I believe I break a sub from Heracross. I'm just going to make sure works. I pretty much break a sub at 23. And there's no real point in my mind, there's no real point. I might add some speed or some EVs there. See how much it takes to break that. What do I go 20? I might have to go to like 60. Okay, so 60 breaks it. Let's go 56. I'm just gonna do the 24.5. Oh, Pokemon rounds down. Fuck Pokemon, dude. Don't actually. That's gross. So I need 56. And this is kind of the things that go into team building. It's kind of like the give and take bounce, and it's gonna make me less weak or more weak to the Zygarde in a way, but at least I can 100% shut Heracross down. Because at this point, if Zygarde switches out, he's either going to have no sub and be +1, or he's going to he's going to have no sub and be +1, which I can deal with. Or as long as he doesn't have a sub, that's what I'm trying to get at. And he's not going to get much higher, because if you look at his my team, he needs Thousand Arrows. If he wants to go sub D-Dance or sub Curse or Coil, whatever, he needs Dragonium Z, because without Dragonium Z, he can't break Lurantis. So he can go the whole crazy Coil, D-Dance, sub, whatever. I mean, whatever, like, let him do him. But he can't break my Lurantis if he does that. So he needs 2 attacks. 2 attacks means he has to choose between D-Dance, Sub, and Coil. And Coil is kind of the last one of the 3. because I feel like sub D dance makes more sense, prevents him from being toxic, etc. Which means if he has leftovers, then I don't have to worry about Dragonium Z. If he doesn't have leftovers, then he has to worry about being whittled down. He has no way to healing wish or wish back into Zygarde. Unless he's like a rest sap. That's another move slot syndrome. And defog here because if webs come up, and he doesn't set up with Zygarde and he just goes for 1,000 errors, this is one of my best ways of getting rid of hazards. Prevents Nidoking could have T-spikes, Ferrothorn could have spikes, all those two can have rocks, but mainly the webs and Galvantula is an issue. And this allows me a chance to get rid of them, especially since Heracross is just such a good switch into this. And then I don't really have an answer to Heracross, but as long as Heracross doesn't go plus, or doesn't stay behind a sub, which HP Fire will be able to crack. And finally, my plans fell apart when Mew was like the first Pokemon I put on this list. It turned out to be the last Pokemon. I was debating between Mismagius, Jolteon, even Kyurem instead of Gyarados, but the Intimidate, leading Intimidate against Infernape, Zygarde, Heracross, Crawdaunt would be really good. So that's kind of the reason I put this. I can kind of sack it, get the Intimidate off, and But this is pretty much my way to break his team. I outspeed his main threats, which means as long as Will-O-Wisp hits, 85% accurate, don't fail me, as long as it hits, I can Will-O-Wisp before he gets a sub off. And if he's Scarfed, then there's no point of him having a sub anyways. Psychic T-Bolt, Flamethrower, pretty much go to town. And I did have Expert Belt here, but Expert Belt meant that Psychic was too weak in my opinion, and it left me weaker to Raikou, it left me weaker to Zygarde, and overall it wouldn't OHKO Heracross, or do like it was doing less than I wanted, and Thunderbolt's still gonna do a lot to Crawdaunt. There's still a good chance I OHKO Crawdaunt, so I don't have to worry about that. And Flamethrower is just gonna chip at Ferrothorn. It's gonna do the damage I need, just to make sure. Do this defensive and put Mew there. It's gonna do the damage I want. Yeah, look at that, 61%. That puts it in range. I'll even look at Crawdaunt. Banded, Thunderbolt, yeah, 98%. And Aqua Jet's doing 42 max on a banded Crawdaunt. And that's jolly. Let's see if it's adamant. If it's adamant, oh man, like, just GG. Like, can I just, like, quit? I hate Crawdaunt so much. And Aqua Jet doesn't do 60, that's fine. Like, because if he's banded would be nice, especially if he locks himself into Aqua Jet for this. But pretty much the idea behind Will-O-Wisp here, because these three are just coverage moves, I could go with Soft Boiled, but I didn't really want to lose momentum on healing, especially since my team's going to rely on sacking anyways. The speed outspeeds Jolly Zygarde, no brainer there, but pretty much, like I said, I want to be able to, if they lead something, I want to be able to Will-O-Wisp it before it gets behind a sub, and if he kills me, like if Crawdaunt kills me, and I get it Will-O-Wisped, that's perfect, because look how much Crawdaunt does to Excadrill. Let's go to my Excadrill. See, this is what's cool about Excadrill, there's so many freaking sets for it. Aqua Jet does 134, so if it's burnt, that's doing 70, which means I can live that, and obviously I can't really live burn Infernape, and he's not going to switch Infernape on my Mew. That doesn't make sense. So it's just a way to add extra stuff, I really wanted Medium Z on this, because Medium Z, it was a nasty plot instead of Will-O-Wisp. I pretty much outsped anything, so once I got that nasty plot off, I O-code pretty much everything, and the Medium Z allowed Psychic to get Psychic Terrain up, which meant Crawdaunt and Infernape were useless against Excadrill, but now that there's Raikou, now that there's Infernape, it just puts more pressure on Mew. I still technically could do it, but like a Raikou Shadow Ball would be an issue, like this set. I'd run the same set, or the same set EV-wise. Raikou, Specs, Shadow Ball, yeah, it's doing 80%. It outspeeds. I would have to Dual Dance, and if I Dual Dance, I lose one of those coverage moves, and I can't really afford to lose any of these, because I lose Thunderbolt, I can't check Crawdaunt, and I lose Flamethrower, I can't check Ferrothorn. and if I dual dance, then Ferrothorn's Garaball is just doing a crazy shit ton to me. So I can't have that. So yeah, overall, I think it's gonna be a good team. The keys to this game that you have to I'm gonna have to watch out for is, do Crawdon and do Infernape both show up? Does Ferrothorn? I'm expecting Zygarde to show up, but if Blastoise and Ferrothorn show up along with Crawdon, Infernape, Raikou, that's gonna be an issue. Like if you leave, as much as Heracross is a pain in my ass, Heracross is a free kill for Excadrill. So that being said, I kind of need Heracross to show up. It makes it easier because that's one more thing Excadrill can OHKO, and if he switches into any of these other stuff, I hit something with an Aerial Ace, then, or even Heracross gives What am I saying? Heracross gives Pidgeot the freest of switch-ins. Obviously not switching in, but like a check kind of switch in. So if Heracross kills something and it's not behind a sub, Mega Pidgeot comes out, something's dying to a Hurricane. So realistically, if Crawdon doesn't show up, that'll be just amazing. I can handle Infernape a lot better with Gigalith, and even Gyarados to a degree. If there's no Crawdon, Gyarados checks Infernape. But knowing Mike, Crawdon just puts in so much work against my team. I just don't see it, especially with Slurpuff with the Unburden, Crawdon with the boosted Aqua Jet, which hopefully it makes him bring Banded. Like he can pretty much click Aqua Jet on most of my team. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video. It's been kind of long. Let's hope we start off 1-0. This might go up depending on if he changes his team or not. If not, if he doesn't change his team, this is going up. And we will see you at the battle. Like I said, hopefully we go 1-0.